Hello everyone, it's DiFusionGaming here for another episode of TWD. Now in this episode, I'm going to be talking about some of my pet peeves. So, what I have in the list right now are the ones I can think of. I know there are more, I just can't think of them. Now, first on my list is fork and plate scraping. It's just an awful sound. So when someone's eating something off of a plate, and then like finishing off the food, and you hear that awful screech sound coming from the plate. It's terrible. And then even worse one is when someone's taking a bite from something from like a metal fork and their teeth scrape on it to scrape the food off. It's terrible. I can't stand that sound. I don't know if you ever had this problem in your high school, if you're in high school, but at least when I was in high school, there's always these people on each side of the hallway just sitting on the floor, sticking their legs out. So when you walk by them, you have to like look down and like kind of step over each leg. Now that was pretty annoying. And there'll be like long rows of people all doing this. Now the next pet peeve is something people say that makes no sense sometimes. It's when someone says, "speaking of," but it doesn't make sense. For example, I got a new record in a game I just got. It's really awesome. Speaking of records, I tasted something delicious yesterday. It makes no sense. And so many people has done that. They say speaking of, and the two things they say are completely unrelated. So why say speaking of? Alright, now into some gaming stuff. Now one of the things that really, it bugs me when I'm watching someone play a game or I accidentally do it myself, is there's a certain type of building game. Like for example, Prison Architect, which I'll probably have in the background as an example. But it's when you have a 2x2 grid of wall, and then there's a tiny gap in the middle. Oh man, I do not like that gap. It does not need to be there. Now next is blasting music in games. This more commonly happens in the first person shooters. You'll be just doing your own thing, and then this random person all of a sudden turns on their microphone and starts blasting music through. And then it's even worse when you're playing a game where you can't mute someone in game and you have to wait till after the game. So you're stuck listening to this music you don't care about until after the game. And then there are the squealers. Squealers are those people who make really high-pitched and annoying noises when they die. But when they kill someone, they talk like they're the best at the game, and then no one's better than them. Those are the squealers. Alright, now, so the final game thing is when you're on the internet and you're downloading a game and it says free to play. You download the game expecting it to be free to play, but when you open it, it says 30 days remaining. It's like, what? So many times when you're downloading a game, it doesn't say that there's going to be a trial. It just says it's free to play. Well, I mean, I guess they're technically not lying, but that's annoying. Now the final thing, there are certain people that dip chips or fries or anything like that in a weird way. For example, is when you have like a chip and then there's salsa. They get the chip and dip it straight down into the salsa and straight back up. There's no scooping whatsoever. It's just an insane thin layer of salsa with barely anything on it. And then the person just eats it. It's like, there's barely anything on that chip. And then by the end of it, there's like, most of the salsa is not eaten. It's just all wasted. And there's like barely any flavor on that chip. Now whenever I see someone do that, that bugs me. Alright, well, that's going to be the end of this episode of TWD. Hope you enjoyed. And for the question, what are your pet peeves, or what is your worst pet peeve? Make sure to put that down in the comments below. But yeah, that's going to be it, so goodbye.